So, I've been criticized before about different things, about uh, different decisions that I've made over the span of my life and different things like that. And, one thing I've learned, you can't cry over spilled milk. You just gotta, try to make your mistakes right. And, that's the reason why at times, I've been disappointed in the past where I can't, make certain things right. It weighs on me because I don't like leaving a situation worse than how I left it. And if I damage something, I believe I should fix it. That's just how I take things. And so, that's what kind of governs my patterns at times. I want to make sure I do things right the first time, of course, but if for some reason I can't, I want to be able to redeem those things. And while this job situation may not be ideal in other people's eyes, it has been working out for me because there are certain things that I wanted to do while I was, doing this thing in the first stint with different owners. But as I said, I was going through different things at the time, a lot of different things at the time, and very few people to talk to, very few people thinking that I'm even speaking rational about certain things. And like I said, this has been happening for the course of 5 years online and different things. Very few people have I been able to talk to and get a direct response to, and really feel like I have some people in my corner. And the people that I have had those interactions with, I was grieved upon letting them go. But when you certain times you can't make certain things right, even if you apologize. And so you just got to be able to live with your mistakes, and you waking up is the grace of God. And those are some things that I try to keep in mind, because the enemy definitely wants to stop you. The enemy wants to stop you from getting to where you need to be, even if it's, like I said, not ideal in everybody else's eyes. I've been having people compare me to themselves for a while. The only place that I want to be is where, number one, I'm comfortable, I'm at peace. People aren't bothering me about every little thing. And then I want to be able to do for my loved ones as I planned, as I've always wanted to. As I've said, making mistakes in the past with my family and different things like that, it has messed certain things up, created certain scars. And at times, because I couldn't mend certain things, it felt like I said, at times when you feel like you can't do those things, when you can't mend certain things, you feel like it's no redemption. That's one of the reasons why I'm grateful for, God and His grace. Understanding that Him waking you up, Him giving you another chance, that is His grace. That is His extension to do better. Even if a man or a woman doesn't forgive you, you can always go to God. But you have to be humble enough within yourself to know, okay, it's possible that I did do something wrong, or I could have caused an offense towards this person, and so maybe I should apologize. But it's all about how that person receives it, and if that person isn't ready to receive it, whether they're saying the apology is coming from a bad place, and maybe you do have to check that at times. But if you know that you're coming from a good place and you try to make things right with a person, you need to be able to leave it there and move on. Because I've been a person who, because I can't make up certain mistakes, or in my mind I harbor on those mistakes, and it leads to more mistakes. And when it comes to terms with people and different things like that, you got to realize certain people, whether you don't see those people again or not, some people will come back around, but let's say you don't see those people again or not, you're going to have other opportunities. And so it's good not to beat yourself up. It's good not to stay in a mindset to where you feel like, You know, you can't redeem yourself and different things like that. But as I've said, being online, not having the direct access to individuals that care about me, that truly care about me, it has been a detriment. Like producing a message to different people, and like I said, it's different when a minister speaking about the Spirit, where let's say I just happen to be in a particular book and I'm being led by the Spirit to speak on a certain thing, and I happen to give my testimony or something similar to your life. That's one thing. But when I'm actually looking into your life and then I tailor a message around it, that's totally different, in my opinion. Like I said, man, I've been around for a while, and so, you know, this online stuff, as far as how people want to be perceived in different things, I've been around a lot of different things, and the main thing I got is not to mock, and that's another thing I've been accused of, but mocking different people's gifts, different things like that, unless people show forth themselves as false. But even then, because I've seen God use a child in my situation to speak to me. You got to be careful, because he can use anybody. Like I said, I had interactions with a woman at a club that I thought was out of her mind. She was talking about a whole bunch of different stuff. But when I come to talk to her about, you know, my situation with the church and different things like that, she used wisdom, and I could tell it was God instructing her to say what she was saying. And so, and it wasn't nothing personal. It wasn't like she was looking to my life before. She corrected me by the Spirit. It wasn't anything, like I said, maniacal, where, oh, no, I'm not looking at you. You're a narcissist. You think everything is about you. Really, I don't want everything to be about me. I can look out in the world and thoroughly be like, I remember back in the day when DC Young Fly was roasting people. I would sit up there and watch his roast all day. And I don't think he's, you know, in my opinion, you know, on stage material, but everybody got opinions, everybody got perspectives and taste and different things like that. But seeing that come up, I was able to laugh about certain things. And it was so, like I said, it was so pure. Wasn't nobody watching me, oh, you shouldn't be watching that. I'm laughing, trying to heal from different things that had happened. And to have, if at a certain, my point is, if that period of my life was under a microscope, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today, because I probably would have been so emotionally damaged and scarred at that particular point, because that was when a lot of things really started to get, you know, hectic for me. It was like I was going through a whole bunch of life changes at the time, and even though things were getting better, and different opportunities were presenting themselves, you know, it was still tough. And, you know, I needed those laughs and those moments. Like I said, if my life was constantly under a microscope without love, without, like I said, it's nothing wrong with it, with correction or instruction, but without, hey, can I, you know, the reason why, let me give an example. The ministry that I would help out when we was talking about the mark of the beast and different things. The reason why I have so much respect for him, and a lot of people may think that I don't, but I feel like people just don't like him for various different reasons. But, you know, I like him for my reasons. I had my disagreements with him, but at the end of the day, I seen fruit. When we got our stimulus checks, I remember, because if I get a large sum of money, especially if I'm not expecting it, it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? All right, some people may be like, hey, do this or do that. You supposed to do this. I ain't go out and do the PPE scams like all these other people did, but I ain't gonna get into that neither. But sticking on this subject, when we got our stimuluses, like I remember sending over some money to that ministry. And immediately, because I guess a lot of people I won't say follow suit, a lot of people was doing the same thing. They got footage and they started showing what they were doing with those donations. That made me love him even more. When I called him, when I was supposed to go see him in Atlanta, and for whatever reason, the Greyhound didn't show up. It was stuck in Cleveland for 8 hours. But when I was going to take that Greyhound to Atlanta to go see him, he asked me, I was letting him know I'm on the way down there. He was like, do you need anything? Do you need me to get you a hotel room? This and that. And I was like, man, this dude different. So in certain situations like that, where you have interactions where you can tell people are genuine, when you can tell they operate in love, those situations grieve you a lot more when you can't mend them than somebody on the outside thinking or saying that they know you and they actually don't know anything about you. But those are some of the trials and different things that I've had to overcome. Like I said, and for anybody who else has had to go through those things, the best thing, you need to make sure that you're in the right operation. Apologize. If for whatever reason that apology is not accepted, and I'm not saying this will happen with this guy, but I've had the same situation play out in different scenarios. If for whatever reason your apology isn't accepted, you need to just move on and try to do better. And as I've said, different situations will present themselves. Like, there's billions of people in the world, so you're going to interact the more you get out here and you do certain things. And so try to learn from your mistakes, learn to treat people well. And, to anybody who, like I said, like if you want to mentor somebody or if you want to have a mentee or whatever, it's best to build a relationship with that person before you start saying things from the outside that may not be true, because it could be taken the wrong way. It can be perceived the wrong way. Peace.